Well, good morning, Rotary International District 7770. Welcome to Conversations with Rotary Action People for Friday, June 19th. Today is all about the Rotary Foundation, and our featured speaker today is our District Foundation Chair, past District Governor from the Rotary Club of Hilton Head Island, Miss Sandee Brooks. Good morning, Sandee.
Good morning.
We're glad to have you here. Right before we get to your presentation here, we'll do the vision statement of Rotary. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. To introduce a few key dignitaries on the line today, past RI Vice President. I consider her a Rotary legend. I think we all do. And we are delighted you're here. The lovely Miss Ann Matthews from Columbia, South Carolina. Good morning, Ann. Past District Governor from the Rotary Club of Hilton Head Island, Mr. David Terrard and his wife, Susan. District Governor-elect from the Rotary Club of Myrtle Beach, Miss Pauline Levesque. Our Public Image Chair for our Rotary District, the wonderful Mary Gass from the 5 Points Rotary Club in Columbia, and our District Communications Chair from the Rotary Club of Somerville Evening in Somerville, South Carolina, Mr. Terry Moore. And I realize I did not introduce myself. I'm Donald Hovis with the Chicora Rotary Club here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Sandee, let's start the screen share. And take it away on the Rotary Foundation.
All right, I'm going to go through some of the elements of the Rotary Foundation, hopefully made simple. Hello. Now, there we go. As you know, Art Klump was the RI president in 1916-17, and at the 1917 convention, he started an endowment for the purpose of doing good in the world. The Rotary Foundation is a 4-star Charity Navigator rating. We have that rating because we give 91% of our funds directly to programs. And we have 6 areas of focus, which I will talk about in a little bit. There are several funds and 3 funds in the foundation: the annual fund, the endowment fund, and the Polio Plus fund. The annual fund's primary source of funding for foundation activities like district grants and global grants. And the endowment fund, those contributions are invested in perpetuity, and our available earnings supplement the foundation activities. And of course, we all know the Polio Plus fund that supports the eradication of polio. So the annual fund, or called annual fund share, 50% of the contributions from 3 years ago come back to the district as district designated funds. The other 50% goes into that World Fund. Annual fund share example, in 2016-17, the district gives $800,000. So in 2019-20, how much do you think they get back? Half of that, $400,000 for district designated funds. What can the district do with $400,000 in DDF? What we've generally done is spend 20% giving it to polio. We send $25,000 to the Rotary Peace Centers. I believe there are now 7 in the world. We set aside some for global grants. We generally have 2 global ambassadorial scholarships at $25,000 apiece. And district grants, about $180,000. We give an average of 60 clubs grants up to $2,500 in match. Now, district grants support local projects, and they can support international projects. They're smaller in scope, and some of the things we've done in our district are Happy Feet, holiday baskets, And in 2019-20, we had 68 clubs actually get up to 2,500 in matching grants. And we set aside 35,000 for global grants. Global grants support large international activities with sustainable, measurable outcomes in Rotary's areas of focus. Now, the global grants change a little bit with the year 2020-21. A club has to give a minimum of $10,000 or a combination of clubs, a minimum of $10,000. The district will then match that $10,000. And now the World Fund matches the district designated funds. So that turns $10,000 into $30,000. Previous to last year, the World Fund matched 50 cents on the dollar of the club's money, but starting next year, because we have depleted the World Fund until obviously the 1st of July, they just decided they can't continue to match the 50 cents on the dollar for global grants for the club money. Bluffton Rotary Club did a clean water system in Peru with Water Missions International. Our district participated with a $10,000 gift to transform lives in Ghana and West Africa. And we implemented the boreholes and microflush toilets. We have the scholarships, and the global grants are for graduate students studying abroad in one of Rotary's 6 areas of focus. And those are promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, sanitation and hygiene, saving mothers and children, supporting education, and growing local economies. Now, there are many ways and opportunities to give to the Rotary Foundation. You can become a Paul Harris Fellow with $1,000 in cash and/or recognition points. You can join the Paul Harris Society, and that is $1,000 cash per year. And once you reach $10,000 in cash donation, you become a major donor. There are 4 levels of major donor, as you can see. And once you get to the $249,999, you then roll into an Arch Clump Society. We have 2 Arch Clump Society members in our district at this moment. We had 4, unfortunately, 2, actually we might have had 5 at one time, and the others have since passed. So what does your $1,000 donation provide? It can provide 30,000 polio drops, 500 malaria bed nets, 500 books for children, 42 people will have safe water, and 1 shelter box. There are also opportunities that are included in the endowment fund as a beneficiary of your estate plannings, or when you donate $1,000 or more to an outright fund, and that is called a benefactor. Bequest society is $10,000 or more in your estate planning, and estate planning can include stocks, sometimes property, your will, your estate will. If you put it in your will, you're not going to miss it. Now, your kids might, but you won't. There's recognition for the clubs, every Rotarian every year. Those contributions are an average of at least $100 per member, and every active member gives at least $25. There's 100% foundation giving, and that's a contribution to, I apologize, every Rotarian every year is only to the annual fund. 100% foundation giving is a contribution to any of the 3 funds, the annual fund, the polio fund, global grants, or the endowment fund. And that again, average at least 100 per member, and every active member gives at least 25. Now, Paul Harris Society, 100% Paul Harris Society. Now, we don't have 100% Paul Harris Society Club yet. We have 100% Paul Harris clubs. We did that back in 2012 during Ed Duryea's year. And in fact, last year, the Hartsville Club made sure all of their members were Paul Harris's, because members come and go. So back in 2012, they've lost some of those members and gained some new members. So they stepped up and made their club 100% Paul Harris. But a Paul Harris Society Club would be really nice. That would be everybody contributing $1,000 to either the annual fund, the Polio Plus Fund, or an approved global grant. And as I just said, the Paul Harris Fellow Club, we became that 2012 as a district. So I want to thank everybody for what they do for the Rotary Foundation. And if you have any questions, I can take them now.
Well, thank you, Sandee. We do appreciate that. What I would say is if you're watching, please put in the chat box your Rotary Club and where you're watching from. And we're also streaming this over on the Rotary International District 7770 Facebook page. Please do the same there. I do see that we have District Governor-elect nominee, Mr. Paul Walter from the Rotary Club of Hilton Head Island over on the Facebook feed. So good morning, Paul. Thank you for being here. If anyone has any questions about the Rotary Foundation, please post those also in the chat box at this time now too. And Sandee, I will call these out to you as they come in here. You probably see them as well, but so why is the World Fund depleted?
Well, Ann knows this better than I do, but we just gave out a ton of money for COVID relief around the world, and that just depleted what we had. We, as a district, asked for the $20,000 for COVID, a grant for COVID relief, and it was already depleted by the time we sent in our request. So it'll get refired up to July 1st with that other 50% from 3 years ago. So we'll be able to, again, do grants. Right now, we can't get any money for any global grant until after July 1st.
And then you mentioned in your presentation, this is about water projects. You mentioned the Bluffton Club in Chicora here in Myrtle Beach. I know we've done 2 or 3 of those water projects with water missions. Are there other clubs in our district that are doing water projects that you know of?
Oh yes, absolutely. Daniel Island is, Bluffton's actually doing another one in the same area where they put their first one in. And no, there was one other, and offhand, I can't remember the name of that club right now, but, and Ann knows that we have gone and done a lot of things in Ghana with Walter Hughes. We built a school. We're gonna participate in another school.
And this probably could be a CWRAP segment in itself, but can you explain the district grants just a little bit further in terms of how the money comes back and what you have to do and things like that?
Well, you have to have an international partner if you're doing a global grant, and you find that partner and you have to do an assessment to make sure that what you think they want is what they really want. So that you're not just putting in something that they don't even want to have. And after you do that, you get a partner, for instance, like water missions. They have boots on the ground in almost every country that we can think of going into to do a water project. They will put together the budget for you. So you get the big budget put together. You figure out how many clubs, your club, other clubs want to contribute to help, and how much money you'll put together, and the district, tell the district that you want a matching grant. So the district sets aside that global money from the district designated funds, and you put in, you apply for the district grant with Rotary International by putting it into the Rotary website. Rotary International may come back with some questions. Generally speaking, they do. Some water projects they don't, but other projects they'll have some questions, and you answer those questions, and then you'll get it approved. Once it's approved, the money will, you have to set up a specific bank account for that money. The money will come to you, and you put it in that bank account, and you manage that money. And when it's all said and done, you do a closing report, you account for all of that money. Any money that you didn't spend, you can send back. That does go back into the World Fund. It does not come back to the district. Any district grants that money you don't use, that money does come back to the district, but not with a global grant. It goes back to the World Fund. So, and it's always nice. The Bluffton people went to Machu Picchu and saw their in Peru and saw their well being turned on, and that was kind of really cool to do. Now the grant did not pay for that visit, but they all wanted to go see what was going on, and then it was really looked good. But you have to have an approved partner. If someone in the other end has not done what they should do with global grant money, they're not going to be approved, and you can't work with them. So, but that's rare, but it does happen.
And then if you could, Sandee, we've got one question after this question here. Can you explain district grants?
District grants are smaller in scope. We provide $2,500 match, so that's up to a $5,000 grant that's used locally. You could have an international partner and do a district grant, but again, they're smaller in scope. Ours are now only up to $5,000. Our club does Happy Feet, and we do Safety Town, and sometimes our grant, our application is greater than the 5,000, but the district will only match 2,500, so you have to put in at least 2,500. Again, it's the same process. You fill out an application. Right now, you send it to Bob Gross. You have to be E-Ray, every Rotarian every year, status by May 15th to get your grant approved. Then the block grant of every club in the district's grant is put together and sent to Rotary International, and they approve it and send back a check to the district. The district cuts checks to all those clubs, and generally speaking, at the foundation seminar, membership seminar in the fall, those checks are passed out to the club. Now, in the case that you didn't use all of your money for your grant, and let's say you had $500 left over, you send that back to the district treasurer, and the district treasurer will send it back to Rotary International. But next year, that money will show up as district designated funds to be used again.
Excellent. Now to some questions here in the chat panel from viewers. Does Rotary International have major gift and plan giving officers located in our district or zone that work with donors?
Absolutely. Carl Davis is the absolute expert, and he's been doing it for Rotary for, I think he said 10 years, and he loves what he does. He's a Rotarian, and he lives in North Carolina, and he supports our district for major gifts.
And I do want to take this pause and say our mascot has made his appearance today. So if you didn't see that, Mary has the CWRAP mascot there. If I don't spend all of my funds rather than send them back, can I share with another club?
That's a very good question. Yes, because we can then show that those funds were used for a district grant, but it has to be with another club that had a district grant open. What we do with our district grants is we put in some contingency money so that if a club wants to do something and went, oh my gosh, I forgot to apply, we can then give them some of that money. But yes, if we can account for the money as going to a grant function. And now this year and probably next year, we have the opportunity to spend that extra money on a COVID project. So you can add a project to your grant saying, well, I want to send this $500 to a food bank instead of sending it back to Rotary, because they are providing food for COVID relief. So that is absolutely possible.
And do you have to be a Rotarian to donate to the Rotary Foundation?
Absolutely not. We will take money from anybody.
And then how would somebody outside of Rotary donate to the Rotary Foundation?
Well, they can go on Rotary.org and still donate. They have to set up a an ID, even though they're not a member. Someone else can make the donation for them. They can send in a form, a donation form and a check, donation form with a credit card number. They can, as Ann has had, I'm sure, have people donate to a global grant that are not Rotarians.
Excellent. Do we have any further questions from the audience here on Zoom or on Facebook for Sandee?
I see Susan said that environment is the 7th area of focus. It's actually not going to be the 7th area of focus that I've heard. What I've heard is every 6 areas of focus will have an environment level to it. So you will also have things inside those 6 areas of focus that have environmental impact that will be added.
Excellent. I will say we do these CWRAP Conversations with Rotary Action People segments 3 times each week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 o'clock. For those on here, starting July 1, District Governor Pauline Levesque is doing a special all-club meeting that will be brought to you by CWRAP. Those are going to be on Wednesdays at noon, right here through Zoom, starting on July 1st. Also, I do want to mention any dignitaries that are on that all-club call will no longer be introduced. Hope you understand that.
That's okay.
But look forward to those. I don't see any other questions at this time, so I will do the Rotary 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thanks so much, Sandee. We appreciate your presentation today, talking all things Rotary Foundation.
Thank you for having me.
Hope everyone
Good
has
job.
a wonderful weekend.
Good job, Sandee.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
High praise.
That's right. When Ann gives you praise, you've done good. So I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Enjoy that sunshine, and we'll see everyone back here on Monday for another Conversations with Rotary Action People. That's a wrap. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Don't forget the International Convention tomorrow.